question?
Yes. So when you all bring somebody new on your team, are you typically bringing on a new agent, or is this somebody that has already got a year or two under their belt?
Well, I'd like to talk about that just a little bit because my team, I have no children. I have no family to pass anything down to. And as I started building my team, and I've been through some buyer specialists, came and went, I finally decided who of my friends who were in sales would enjoy making the kind of money I was making. And I started picking most of them are musician friends. We've been friends for 30 to 40 years. They were in all walks of life. I brought one gal back from California. I just made Leslie leave LSU a few years ago to join the team. But that's where mine came from because we had the same mindset, and that was really important to me.
They were like family. Values.
Yeah, and we're like family together. So we have our own little family there in our group.
How many of you guys have read The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber? Well, what he says in there is the only reason you start a business or have a business is to sell a business. So one of the reasons you're going to get a really good assistant is so you're going to have a team and systems and everything in place, so when you decide to move on for whatever reason, you will have something to sell. I mean, I know people that just walked away. You know, they got grandkids now living in Florida, and they just leave. 40 years worth of business laying around. You can decide when you want to get out of the business, and you can have somebody take over your business and pay you. Rick, you in particular, you've been around for a long time with a good reputation. And so Sandy, you as well. So you don't, and as a matter of fact, you don't know when you may need to get out of the business. I mean, something can happen, and you're going to need to move on. Well, you've got money laying there on the table. Maybe you're gone, but your wife could use it, or your kids could use it. There is money there if you will set your business up with the concept, I'm bringing people in to work with me, so when I decide to move on, somebody else could step in, or one of them can move up. And that's one of the reasons why you definitely want to have I had a small team, but I made good money. And they still call it the Mason Group, which is a part of the problem. You had a problem with this, Stephanie?
We still don't know. we're the Linda Fox Jarvis team. I'm Stephanie Jarvis Caskell, but we don't know. We're gonna hire that branding guy that was in one of the sessions and see if we can figure it out.
What you're gonna name your team. If you're gonna sell it or move on, my team's still the Mason Group because it had a good reputation and a good name. And I've been gone 20 years, and they still use it.
Well, remember back in our day, though, we were taught in the 90s, it's all about us. It's our name. Pat Wadham team, Pat Wadham team. Well, if I'm selling a Pat Wadham team and Pat Wadham's not going with it. So we moved to the Pat Wadham 5-star team about 5 years ago, and then we've just moved to the Wadham 5-star team. And I think that's where they're going to leave it because the name is too strong to lose the name, but we don't need to have Pat on there. That's my thing.
No,
We don't have Kathy on mine.
I'd like to answer his question he asked. You have two different things. You're talking about an assistant, then we're talking about team members that are going to be buyer agents or listing agents.
Yeah, the agent.
They're two different creatures. Because typically a good assistant is not going to, it's rare that they're going to evolve into selling real estate. They like working in an environment that you've created. They're very detailed, and it's a totally different creature. So the skills you're looking for in an assistant is different than somebody who's going to be a listing agent or buyer agent.
Yes, ma'am.
Stephanie, you answered the question that you don't pay for any leads. I'm curious if the rest of you pay for leads for your teams.
We pay for some leads, but not many. We don't spend a lot of money. I think it's the one that CRS provides that you pay $100 for or something. I don't know.
We've done that.
Yeah, that one.
We have done the only thing we've done is the CRS.
We spend some money on Zillow, and I am a Veterans United agent, which I really actually love. I get really good leads from them. Nobody else does, but I do. And a couple of others like Fast Expert.
Mm-hmm.
And and the thing that if anybody calls me and wants me to pay for leads, I say that I will not pay any upfront fees ever. I'll give you. The bad thing about Fast Experts, they've gone from 25 to maybe 35% or 40 years, and so I don't really like to do them. But Agent, well, it's called Agent Dash, which is Veterans United, which has nothing to do with the Veterans Administration. It's amazing.
Kathy, keep your mic up.
It's amazing. I deal with a lot of coaches, and I have a friend that are agent who is in Illinois when all these Illinois coaches came to us. And I told him, I said, we've got to start a website or whatever called Coaches United, because these Veterans United are so loyal to whoever they give them for their lender and for their agent and for their concierge person. I mean, there's money there.
I have a tip on leads, though. My team, I used to pay for the leads that we got from our website. And then if the leads dried up, they wouldn't say anything. They just let me keep paying. And I figured this out fine. I said, here's the deal. You want me to pay for leads? I will bill you for the leads every month. And every month that you close a deal from that lead source, I will reimburse you that month's fee. If you close 2, I'll reimburse you 2 months' fees. And guess what? It worked great until what? The leads dried up, and they said, stop it, turn it off now. I said, okay, great. So make them have some skin in the game. That's my 2 cents if you're going to pay for leads.
Think about the gist of this whole conference, though, has been relationships. You've got to get out and work your relationships, and then they can go out and work for you. If you do a really good job for them and let them know how much you appreciate you, they will bring you the leads, the referrals.
And analyze your business to see where your business is coming from. I am terrible about buying leads and services, and I don't do well with them. I just don't, and I just waste my money. Because when everything is said and done, year in and year out, 90% of my business is my database, my referrals, my lunches, my dinner parties. And then 10% are new business that just happen to come across. But yet I spend so much money on them, and I need to stop doing it.
Yes, ma'am.
How big is your SOI that you're mailing to? Your sphere of influence?
Okay, my sphere is about 825 people. And then within there, I have my top, which is about 225. Then I have a farm that is about 2,000 that I've been working for decades.
Question?
Just a quick question. Okay, so I'm the soloist, no assistant, I need one. I maybe do 40 transactions.
You need one.
Need one.
I do need one in my life. Do you start them out on the salary? Is it a 40-hour work week? What do you do?
Mine's, we've tried hourly, and I'm sure everybody has an opinion on this, but it drove me nuts because they wouldn't stick to 40 hours, or they might do 50 because they need some more money. And I'm going, what? What are you spending money on? Get it done in the time. So I made it a salary. It's a salary thing, so they get, I think my last assistant, which was 3 years ago, was $40,000 a year.
And where are you located?
Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And that was a high dollar for an assistant, by the way.
We've started on part-time with them at first, mainly not because of the amount of work I can give them, the amount of time I have to train them. So I've said, hey, you're going to start from 10 to 3 Monday through Friday to learn what we're doing, and as you can take on more, we'll increase it, and we do hourly. And yeah.
No, I had a combination. When I had full-time assistants, they got a little percentage of everything that came into the company. And the company we call Dolly, because big fan of Dolly Parton. So it's like our Dolly dollars. So they would get 2% of what Dolly got, which is from the buyer's agent and from myself and everybody else. So that kind of added up, especially when you're doing 200 units. That's a nice, and they're working full-time, typically Monday through Friday, because that's what, assistants, their work is kind of dependent on title companies and lenders.
What about on a weekend, though? That's when we're working in the office right now.
Is that, well, we're back to what do you need? Do you need somebody in the office during the week taking care of all the paperwork and talking to the lenders and the appraisers and such, or do you need somebody at the office on the weekend to answer the phone or whatever? You need to look at your needs, define what your needs are. You don't want to do anything that somebody else can do for a lot less money than you can do. So if somebody's going to just answer the phone, then you're going to pay them just to answer the phone, whatever that is worth to you. But my assistants would start off at whatever going rate was, but my lead assistant made $68,000 a year, and this was 20 years ago. And so, because she was worth every penny of it,
Can I also say, we had learned at some class that we could pay them like X amount of dollars per transaction, or if we had 10 transactions this month, we give them a little bonus. But the real estate commission clamped down on that. We could not do that. So it had to be strictly salary. And so what I would do at the end of the year would do an end of the year bonus that anybody could receive, right? And that was legal. But the real estate commission in your state, you need to understand your rules in your state.
And my assistants were licensed, so I could pay them that way. If they were just hourly, and I would not do that.
And you don't have to do bonuses just at the end of the year either.
And then if you want, figure out when you're the busiest. So their person's schedule might be Tuesday through Saturday, and they're off on Sunday and Monday. And you may have to pick up, somebody will have to pick up on Monday, but at least you've got them for Saturday.
May I,
Or you can be creative with your schedule.
may I ask you a question? What is it that you need this person to do?
All the, like,
Admin.
the
Yeah.
contracts and stuff. My strength is with people, meeting them. I love meeting them, showing them.
I think
See,
that.
you're like me.
Yeah.
I like showing homes. And I like calling Nikki at 7 in the morning on Sunday morning and saying, hey, we're going to write an offer. And she's like, yeah, you finally sold them something, or, whatever she says. But, or like, I'm just getting out of bed. No. Yeah. Yeah, she's trying to make a tea time. But she we know what each other likes to do. She plays golf probably 3 days a week, and we get a lot of leads from that. So she's working the golf course. I sponsor a lot of golf events so she can play golf. And, but the point is, you need somebody that's like you. She's also kind of a buyer's agent because she does work buyers. So you need somebody like you that is willing. She gets a bonus. She gets a bonus, and she's extremely motivated by competition.
So I would say if you're doing 40 transactions a year, you need an assistant. And chances are, depending on your price range and how much trouble it is, now they sell real fast and everything, but are they easier? No, they're not easier. So if you're doing 30 transactions and you time, energy, money, you may be time to get at least a part-time or a virtual. But we just got to where we were working 90-hour weeks, no life, and why? It just wasn't. And if you'll watch your bottom line, your profit, you can work less or raise your sales price, whatever you need to do, but you don't need to be doing 40 transactions and all the paperwork and all the inspections and everything else that goes along with this business.
You'll hate your business after a while. A lot of people ask me, 40 years, when are you retiring? They said, I love what I do. Unless I don't have anybody that can hang the signs, put lock boxes on, meet the inspectors, meet the appraisers, meet the photographers. I don't like any of that. My job is to go out there, shake hands, kiss babies, and I don't like buyers, and I don't like houses. I really don't. I've always said that. That's why I targeted to be a listing agent.
But do
Really,
you
I
like the
don't want
money?
houses. But the house, 4 walls. What did you say about it?
Yay, Mario.
So, try to figure that out. And so if you're not doing stuff you don't like, do stuff that you enjoy, and then you'll prosper, you'll love what you do, you'll look forward to going into work. And
We got a couple more minutes, but yeah, okay.
What's been your best source for finding people?
Finding,
Our clients.
what kind of people?
Which ones? The assistants? Mine was my database. Really, it was a great place to go, and they already had done business with me. They knew how we worked, and so those were the people who stayed with me the longest.
Mine, when I had all those buyer's agents, was past customers and friends. And we have a lot of past customers and friends that have worked with us in the bigger office, And the problem is we make it, here's what you'll find. You make it look so easy, because you're handing them leads and stuff. You make it look so easy that they're very much inclined to decide they're going to go where the grass is greener. And then you've got nobody, So I often look back at the people that thought the grass was greener, and they weren't. They're now title people, lenders, all these other things, but realtors, because they
good.
couldn't
We're
make it.
short of time. That was a good pearl right there. Steph, let's give.
One of our admins is a virtual assistant, which might be a good place for you to start, to be honest. It's very affordable, and if you get a good person, they can do all your paperwork very easily. So that's one of them, and the other person is past client referrals from friends kind of thing.
Anybody got a quick pearl? You want to give a big pearl out?
Just do it. I mean, just jump in. If you don't have one, jump in.
Rick?
You were talking about if you have an assistant and if you're not making money, increase profit. How long do you go before you make that decision? So let's say it's not working.
Not very long.
It was very quick. I mean, the minute that you have an assistant, you know you now have free time to do what? Prospect, show houses, negotiate. If you're not doing those things, then why don't you hire an assistant?
And by
Hire
the way,
slowly, fire quickly.
but by the way, your assistant should be a profit center. So you need to train them to think referrals.
Yes.
We're going to refer this, we're going to refer that. They should be bringing money in as well as you.
So, yeah, everybody in my office was trained to ask, if a sales a sign call came in or anything else, it wasn't the right house for them. Well, do you know anyone that might be interested in that house? I mean, if they're just, whoever it is, they answer the phone, they know to ask for the business coming in. Let me tell you something else. If you're working so hard, you don't have time for anything else, you're losing business. Because if you don't have time to go out and play and refer and volunteer where you like to be, that's business that you could get. I mean, you go and establish yourself in something that you really like to volunteer in, you're going to get business from that group, and you're going to enjoy your life. And if you have time to go out with your friends, then they'll think, well, if she got, they can learn that you're a good people. You should let people know that people buy houses from you. So you should be out there letting know your friends buy houses from you, that your community knows that people buy houses from you or sell houses from you. And you can't do that if you're just on the phone and in your car all the damn time.
Can I say something?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you the pearl that Casey yesterday said he really got this pearl, and it goes back to relationship business, how we're in this relationship business, and how do you keep in touch with everybody besides, if you're listing to leads and you're sending out postcards and all that jazz. One of the things that I do, which I do, we didn't talk about ideal day in this group, but we do have an ideal day, and I get up real early in the morning, and I know what my calendar is from the night before, but I get up early in the morning, and I know what my calendar is. I look at that, and then I go way back in my text messages to people that bought houses, and I was dealing with them back and forth, 6 months ago. And I write a text that says, hey, just thinking about you this morning. Hope you're going to have a great day, house to house, whatever I want to say. And sometimes I'll add to it like a specific thing for one person or the other. I copy and paste that to all these people that I've been dealing with all this time. And you can do it for agents too. I mean, agents like to think, well, oh, she's thinking about me. That's really nice. So I just go backwards.
Question?
Yeah, I have a question for you. As a new buyer's agent, and I'm really new, like 1 year in, what's the best advice you could give to me as far as standing my ground and not letting people push me around? You know what I mean? Like,
Are you-
when I see a house, I don't want stairs in it, but this house has stairs. Can we still go look at it?
Yeah. Are you guys on a team?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Well, I'm constantly going, I'm here, and now this is a buyer's agent conversation, but
Okay, we are down to 2 minutes, or 1 minute, actually.
what I'm doing is what I go in and I say is, remember, I'm here because you've told me, and you're working with pretty much me, nobody else, hopefully. I'm here to keep you pointed in the right direction. So remember you said you didn't want a screened-in porch, or you didn't want a lake, or you were afraid of a fireplace because you had a fire, or whatever. I think it's good to keep reminding them of what their parameters were and say, if those parameters have changed, I need to know that, because then I can help you find that other thing. And I always tell them I don't eliminate things too much, because if I do, I might miss something that they really liked, and, well, they could, do something, glass in the sunroom or the screened-in porch or whatever they didn't want, so.
Especially for you single agents, your scripts that you control your time with are your most valuable tool.
Yes.
So somebody can't see through the phone if you tell them you have another appointment. They can't come through the phone and see that's for you to get your nails done. You have another appointment. And if you don't want to show out-of-town buyers on the weekend, you have a good script for telling them why that's not to their advantage. You can sell anything to anybody as long as they feel like it's to their advantage.
And you never let
so
them
your
think that you're
scripts,
too
if
busy.
you are a sole agent, are your best tool. Okay? Everybody get something out of this that they like?